Hey everyone, so we're back at Hersheypark today for the start of the 2023 season. Last time that we were here, which was October of last year, the Wildcat coaster was still in the process of being torn down. We're here to check out the construction that is being done currently on Wildcats Revenge. We had spent so much time focusing on DarKoaster opening at Busch Gardens, we hadn't really spent much time talking about Wildcats Revenge, and interestingly enough, the fountain behind me just... okay, there it goes. That was interesting. Anyway, the Wildcats Revenge is the new coaster that's opening at Hershey this year. Later on this summer, we have been following the construction pictures online, but this is the first time that we've been here to see it in person. So we're going to take a look at how that construction's coming along, and we're also going to take a look at some of the food here at the park and ride a couple of the rides, take you along with us on those rides, and basically look at some other things that we didn't look at the last time we were here to do a park tour. And if you missed out on that park tour video, it should be appearing up in the corner right now on most devices. So let's go head through the park and see what's new for 2023. As a quick tip, unless you're one of the first few people into the park for the day, don't start off your day riding Candymonium. This is what the line looks like first thing in the morning. The queue is actually under that archway, so these other people technically aren't even in the queue. They're just waiting to get into the queue. The lockers are also inside there, so they also are waiting for lockers. And that takes some time in itself because it's kind of a cramped space, so it's hard to maneuver around everybody that's in there. And see what I mean? This is near the end of the day, about an hour and a half before park closed, and the listed wait time is only 5 minutes. Jen just rode the coaster, and it was really closer to about 15 minutes, but still, that still beats what we saw earlier today with that huge line that was out here. So maybe you ride this on your way out, you'll save a lot of time. As you pass through Chocolate Town, there will be several eating places. There is a food court on the left, and there's also this Kettle Corn stand here. This Kettle Corn stand is one of the more popular places for people to stop and get a snack. It's right next to the year-round Christmas store. The prices for the Kettle Corn are $9.49 for a regular and $12.59 for a large, and you can also get some lemonades and waters here as well. And if you look through the windows, you can watch them actually pop the Kettle Corn. Over in the food court area, you can find a Nathan's hot dog stand, a Pepsi fast fill area to refill your souvenir cups, and a Dispatch Pizzeria, which they have a few different dispatches around this park. Across from where the carousel used to be, which is still a, I guess, sort of picnic area, they're using it for tables and claw machines and the like. Right across from that is the Hersheypark Photography Services, which, if I can get a good zoom in on the sign that people happen to be walking by right now, you can come here to get your photos from all of the various rides that will actually take your photo. Most of the coasters, the Coal Cracker, Twin Turnpike, and they even include down in the bottom right corner Wildcats Revenge, so you can come here to pick up your picture from Wildcats Revenge as well. It's for a better frame of reference, you can see it's also near the 1906 grill in the distance there. They have a lot of photo packages you can choose from. You can pick one for $15, two for $20, three for $25, four for $30. And they have a couple of other deals down there, and then they also have special package deals at the top for $35, $45, and $75 a piece. The 1906 Grill is a restaurant that's actually been here for a while, but they changed the name of it probably 3 or 4 years ago. It used to be, I believe, the Founder's Grill or something to that effect. I don't remember the exact name, unfortunately, but yeah, this restaurant has been here for a little while now. Here's a look at the entrees and sides. They have basically a selection of burgers and chicken tenders. They have some cheese curds and fries, side salads, a kids meal, and assorted drinks. So it's basically your standard burger place. There was a store right across from the 1906 grill that looks like it's closed right now. They have covered all of the windows in Wildcats Revenge ads. All new hybrid coaster, Wildcats Revenge on the door, and then the chase of a lifetime begins this summer. Right beyond that is the Lemon Drop. This is one of Jen's personal favorite places to stop. They offer lemonade and popcorn. Not only do they offer lemonade and popcorn, you can see in the window they offer cheesy corn, caramel corn, and then right next to that you can see they offer flavored lemonades as well. They have 9 different flavors of lemonade. And then the prices are on this board here. Oh, and they also have caramel apples, candy apples, and cotton candy. So here's a look at the prices. The lemonades range from $4.69 to $6.89. The popcorn is $6.13. The caramel cheese popcorn is $7.99, and the apples are $6.59, and the cotton candy is $6.13. We don't typically come back around to the Cocoa Cruiser since it's such a small coaster, so I don't know how long it's been like this, but I just noticed that they recolored the track to more match a Hershey's Cocoa and Hershey's chocolate bar color scheme of brown and silver. It used to be kind of similar in color to Sky Rush with a yellow track, so it's interesting to see that they chose to recolor it. It looks like they may have also recolored the sign. It's kind of hard to see through the trees, but the color of the sign also matches the color of the track. Right near the entrance to the railroad is a hydration area. There are a couple of Pepsi vending machines, and not only that, they also have some water fill stations here that are free, so you can come over here and fill up your water bottle or cup or whatever you may have for free for some hydration. So it's nice that they added this here. At the Pepsi Fast Fill station, they've put a picture of this year's souvenir bottle. Of course, not surprisingly, it's a Wildcats Revenge bottle. And here's a look at the actual cup design. Looks pretty much just like the one that they have on the sign back there. Each of the various lands or areas around Hersheypark have their own individual map. Here, for example, is the one for Pioneer Frontier. You can also see where the Boardwalk water park area is. Yet again, we're here before Memorial Day, so the boardwalk isn't open right now, but you can see where it's located on the map. Right across from the Play Dome Arcade, which is right next to the Fahrenheit coaster, is Burkes, which is the official hot dog of Hersheypark. And here is the Burkes stand right here. The hot dog place Burkes has coaster dogs, which are named after 3 of the coasters here. The new one for this year, Wildcats Revenge, has sweet and spicy marmalade and potato sticks. The Great Bear Dog with chili, cheese sauce, and bacon bits, and the Wild Mouse with cheese sauce, shredded cheddar, and shredded Swiss cheese. They also have regular hot dog, a chili cheese dog, and chips, and drinks here. And all of the coaster dogs are $9.99 a piece. The regular hot dog is $8.49. This store directly across from Fahrenheit, Coaster Collectibles. This used to be known as Coaster Collectibles, and then they changed the name of it and started selling sports-related items for some reason. Now the store is back to being called Coaster Collectibles, and they're back to selling actual coaster items. They got, in the window you can see they have the Sky Rush hoodie, and they have some models, and they have a whole bunch of other coaster and Hersheypark themed things. So I'm not sure why they briefly decided to change it into a sports store, but I'm glad to see it's back to Hersheypark merchandise again. In this area, directly in front of Fahrenheit Station, there's usually a Chevrolet car sitting here. The car is gone today for some reason, so we can actually get a very good look at this backdrop. It has a nice panoramic view of the Fahrenheit track, as well as the Welcome to Hershey design on the grass in the background. Out in front of the boardwalk area are 2 food trucks. These food trucks are always here even when the boardwalk's closed. They have a mini donut truck and also an empanada truck. And the empanada truck offers beef, chicken, cheese, veggie, Cuban, buffalo chicken, and guava and cheese empanadas. The donut truck has a menu out in front. You pick your size, pick your flavor, and then you also can have dipping sauces for $1.49 each. Just because the view is nice, here's a nice look at Hersheypark's Ferris wheel, a little bit of the boardwalk, and far in the distance on the right is Lightning Racer, and there go both of the trains up the hill right now. And then down go both the trains. As you exit Pioneer Frontier and start to enter the Midway area, there are 4 restaurants in the area that you can choose to eat at. There's a Subway and a Chickies and Pete's right next to each other. They're both right in front of the Wildcats Revenge track. And then across the circle from them, where all of these Pepsi umbrellas are, there is a Dispatch Pizzeria. And then across from the Dispatch Pizzeria is the East Coast Burger Works, which it looks like at the moment the East Coast Burger Works is closed. But obviously you would come here to get some hamburgers. Well, we came here to see the updated look at the construction on Wildcats Revenge. They actually have most of the walkway that leads through Midway America closed off. There is a giant crane in the middle of the walkway, so we can't get down there too far, but you can see in the distance is the station. Behind the crane, right next to it, a Chickie and Pete's is blocking most of the track, but we'll get to a different angle to show a little bit more of it. It looks like at the moment, in order to get down to Lightning Racer and Laugh Track and the Wild Mouse, you have to actually go to a part of the boardwalk that actually is open. There's a little kids play area, and you can walk around and swing by the Ferris wheel if you want to get to the far end of the Midway. So we might have to try to do that to see if we can get a better angle of the work on Wildcats Revenge. The catering area over here that used to be known as Wildcat Catering is now known as Wildcats Revenge Catering in anticipation of the opening of the coaster. Off in the distance there is a very brave individual up at the top of Wildcats Revenge's lift hill, currently working to put some touches on the very highest point of the ride. Wow, I don't envy that guy. He's got some guts. Here's a look at some more unfinished track of Wildcats Revenge, or actually maybe that is some finished track. It kind of looked unfinished, but I think this actually is some finished track for the coaster right here behind Laugh Track. Here's a little bit closer angle of the lift hill for Wildcats Revenge, along with the person who's working at the top of it, the American flag flying at the very top. I wonder if they're going to be keeping that flag there or if it's only up there for while construction is still going on. I'm excited to see what this is going to look like when everything is done. The lift hill looks like it's nearly done though, so that's a good sign. So here we are in front of Wildcats Revenge itself. Here's some of the track. Hidden, most of it's hidden behind trees, but we're also coming up on the entrance to the coaster, the former Wildcat entrance. They're using the same entrance, it looks like. Interesting to see they kept the Twisted Beverage cart over here that they installed during Dark Nights back in October. I don't know if that's going to stay here for next Dark Nights or if when the coaster actually opens up they'll be removing it. It's not actually interfering with the coaster, so it might just remain there. But here's the new Wildcats Revenge sign at the entrance. And beyond the new entrance sign is this building there's still some track laying on the ground out in front. So you can see there's still quite a lot of work to do. There's a crane lifting up some of the track as we speak. That was cool to see. But the station building was pretty cool looking at itself. I can't wait until the barricades that we're currently sitting in front of have been removed so that we can get a better look at the signage on the side of the station. I'm guessing this right here, right above the station, is part of the underflip that they hype up as being the world's longest. It's too bad that we can't see the rest of it, but it looks like that's where it's probably going to start or end. So it'll be exciting to see what this looks like when there's actually trains running on it. And of course, as exciting as all this track is that's laying on the ground in front of us, the more exciting thing that we almost overlooked, nothing can get more exciting than a pile of wood on the ground. Alright, we get to see us a pile of wood. That's always good news. There's someone else hard at work on fixing up Wildcats Revenge to get it ready for the grand opening, whatever that may be this year. It's always interesting to see the work in progress. Another nice look at some of the track through the trees and the restaurants as they continue to work on it. You can see the crane hanging down. Beneath that crane is a person currently in the process of putting some of the track together. As we continue around, we may actually be able to see him. It looks like there might actually be a couple of people up there working on the track at the moment. I'm not sure why watching this is so fascinating. I guess it's probably because after all the DarKoaster news and not getting to see any of the construction, it's fun to actually see people in the process of putting together a coaster right now. Just below, some more people working on the track. It looks like there may be a Wildcats Revenge food cart that they're going to be starting to use once the coaster is open. That's the most interesting thing we've seen today, a food cart. Alright. Jen just pointed out it's behind this white sign right here. The other side of the sign is the Wildcats Revenge catering sign, so it's actually a cart for the catering area, so I guess we won't be able to be buying food from that cart even once the coaster is open. Over near the Laugh Track building and the former site of the Whip, there is a standalone HP Go station, so if you happen to walk by the one that is near the park entrance and you change your mind later in the day and decide that you actually want to get the wristband later on, you can come to this one as well at the opposite end of the park. Unfortunately, this year saw the end of the Whip, which is a shame because not only is it a classic ride, it was also one of our favorite flat rides at the park. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to be doing with this space. Hershey hasn't announced anything yet. It's interesting that they decided to close it because it never seemed to be much of a maintenance issue. It was always running, and it's also a small footprint, so I'm not really sure what they'll be able to put in its place. It doesn't seem like they could put anything in here that is better than the Whip, so we'll see what the future holds for this space. Interesting to see that the scaffolding, or whatever you want to call this metallic structure here that they installed for the scare zone at Dark Nights, is still here. I guess it's going to be a permanent installation because they have cement bases for it. So I don't know if they're just going to continue to hang signs for scare zones at future Dark Nights or if they're going to start using it for other purposes. It'll be interesting to see. With most of the Midway walkway closed off due to the crane, this is the closest that we've actually been to the boardwalk in a while, so I wanted to get some film of what's over here since we really don't ever cover this area. This here is a little children's play area with multiple water slides, a water dumping bucket, and behind me is one of those funnel water slides, as well as a more traditional water slide over in the green. Here's a better look at the kids' play area. They themed it to the Coney Island type area. They have the sideshows by the seashore. It's all beachy. Up at the top is a lifeguard from the other side. Here's the other side of the play area. It's a second smaller water dumping bucket close to us, and there's a better look at the lifeguard. You can see the lifeguard has gigantic binoculars. He's up at the top there near the seagulls with their wings spread. You can see the little boats that say Coney Island and also Wildwood. There are a couple of red slides on the play area, and if you can see below the slides there is a Home Depot bucket. The reason is because the slides don't normally stop there. You can see they're about a foot maybe off the ground. This red in the foreground here is the rest of the slide. They have removed it, and I guess they're doing work on it. It's still sitting there. They haven't finished putting it back, so that's interesting that they still have that sitting over here. Orange tube over here is one of the whirlwind tubes where, if you can see the orange and blue section, actually it's the blue tube that goes into the orange and blue section where you basically spin around in a whirlwind and then go down kind of like a funnel into the water below. The green slide and the yellow and blue slide are collectively known as Coastline Plunge. The green slide itself is known as Surge, and the yellow and blue is known as Whirlwind. The names are right on the front of each of the tubes. You can also see that the Wild Mouse drives right up on the water park as you're on it. So you get a great view, especially when the water park is active while you're on the Wild Mouse. There's an area directly opposite of Mixed and Jolly Rancher Remix that's essentially a giant food court. They offer Flying Fair, which is allergen friendly. They serve Mexican food, barbecue chicken, turkey BLT, Southwest chicken are some of their featured items. They have other items on their menu as well. And then beyond that restaurant, there's a hand-rolled pretzel and fruit smoothie restaurant. They have drinks, smoothies. They have several different types of pretzels, both sweet and savory, as well as dipping sauces. Beyond that one is the Philly Cheesesteak Company on the roll, which you can see they serve cheesesteaks and fries, as well as your various sodas. And they also have cheesesteak fries, which come with steak, cheese whiz, onions, and scallions. The cheesesteak fries are the same price as the actual cheesesteak. At the end of the way here is a Subway, and you know it's your standard Subway. Beyond that, if you continue around, because it's a big horseshoe shape, there's a Moe's over here. If you have any Moe's near you, it's a pretty major chain. It's a southwestern restaurant. And then in the log cabin looking building at the far end is a Chickies and Pete's. They have several Chickies and Pete's around here. They serve chicken cheesesteak and fries, so there's a lot of Mexican food, a lot of cheesesteaks in this area, but the food is really good over here, and it's conveniently located, so it's one of the places that we tend to come to and get some food. Here's a closer look at the Moe's menu. They have burritos, And you can get the home wrecker, which is served in a flour tortilla with rice, beans, shredded cheese, pico, and guac. They also have build your own salad or bowl, nachos, tacos, and they also have a kids meal. You can get a burrito or a taco. Here's a look at the Chickies and Pete's menu. They have 3 different types of burgers, a Caesar salad, chicken sandwiches, chicken wings. You can also get the crab fries, which are seasoned fries, a family bucket of the fries, and also a side of cheese for an extra $2. I'm not 100% sure what this smokehouse over here by Trailblazer was once called, but this is, the sign says Spring Creek Smokehouse. I'm not sure if this is a new name or not, but the sign itself is definitely a new sign, so it's nice to see an update to it. The actual menu is down at the bottom. They have a bunch of smoked meats. They have a brisket sandwich, they have ribs, they have a pulled pork sandwich, a turkey leg, and a half chicken, as well as a selection of sides and a couple of good looking desserts. This is always a popular place to eat here. Trailblazer is closed again today. It seems like we have some very bad luck with Trailblazer. The last few times we've been here, it's been closed. I don't know the frequency of the closure, and I don't know the cause of the closure, so the fact that we haven't seen it open in a while, either it's just some bad luck on our part or there's something really wrong with it. I'm not sure which is the case. I'm not sure what the reason is, but it's most likely a staffing issue. Only the Reese's Tower is running today. The last couple of times we've been here, they've only had one of the 3 towers running, so it's most likely just staffing. On a random bench just past the entrance to the zoo is the Nittany Lion, which is, for those of you who don't follow sports, it's the mascot of Penn State. You can sit on the bench next to the mascot and have your photo taken. This is not someone in a costume, so you don't have to worry about any reaction or anything. It's just a statue. So yeah, it's a photo opportunity. It's kind of something that's easy to pass by if you don't know it's here. In Kissing Tower Hill, basically right at the top of the hill, is Tower Fries, and next to that you come to Great Bear Catering. Beyond that used to be a place that sold moon pies, or whoopie pies, I'm sorry. They used to sell whoopie pies, but it looks like that place has closed down for good. I don't know what they're going to replace this with, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be filling this spot anytime soon. Directly next to the Great Bear is, first of all, a snack vending machine, but then beyond that is it's almost a food trailer. It's not really a food truck, but it's a permanent installment here. It's been here a little while, called Hula Bowls, which obviously serves bowls. Bowls of food. They have the Hula Bowl, the Boardwalk Bowl, the Great Bear Bowl, and the Pro Bowl, which is a funny name for that bowl. And you can also create your own bowl. There's a listing of toppings. And you can also get peanut butter chip and Nutella bites, as well as bottled water. We're gonna go take a little ride on the Kissing Tower. Depending on how long this video ends up being and how long the narration, how well we can hear the narration on the ride, we're either going to put the ride in its entirety in this video, or we're going to put just maybe one rotation from the top in the video. So we'll see how it factors out in the end.
For your safety, please remain seated during the ride and refrain from sitting or leaning on the doors and windows. Smoking is prohibited. Thank you and enjoy your ride. The Kissing Tower stands 330 feet high from its base to the flagpole. Today our cabin will climb 250 feet into the air, making 3 rotations during the ride. Take in the views of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and listen to the story of how it came to be. Our founder, Milton S. Hershey, opened his chocolate factory in the middle of Derry Township in 1905. He chose this location due to the convenient access to fresh milk from local farms. Today, his factory town is known as Hershey, the sweetest place on earth. With Milton Hershey's support, houses, businesses, and entertainment came into existence, creating the town we know today. Let's take a closer look at some of the attractions inspired by our founder. Hersheypark was originally created as leisure grounds for the employees of Hershey's Chocolate Factory. Today, our family theme park has more than 70 attractions, including 15 coasters. Coming this summer, our all-new wood and steel hybrid coaster, Wildcats Revenge, takes riders through one-of-a-kind thrills found only at Hersheypark. Climb a 140-foot hill, hit max speeds of 62 miles per hour, dive into an 82-degree drop, invert 4 times, and stalk your prey through the world's largest underflip on 3 custom trains. Below us, you'll see Zoo America, a year-round 11-acre walk-through zoo home to more than 200 animals from 5 regions of North America. The zoo began when Milton Hershey received prairie dogs as a gift. Entry is included in your one-price admission when you enter through the bridge connecting Hersheypark and Zoo America. Beyond the park is the Hershey Gardens, home to the Milton and Catherine Hershey Conservatory. Visit today and flutter along with hundreds of tropical butterflies at the Butterfly Atrium, open year-round. You will also notice some of the signature Hershey icons, including the Hershey smokestacks, the Hershey cocoa bushes located at the site of the original chocolate factory, and Hershey's Kisses-shaped street lamps throughout the town of Hershey. Across the street is the historic Hershey Theater. The theater was a part of Mr. Hershey's great building campaign. To provide jobs during the Great Depression, he commissioned the construction of several grand structures, including Hersheypark Arena, Hersheypark Stadium, and the Hotel Hershey. Next to the Hotel Hershey is Catherine Hall, part of the Milton Hershey School. Hershey Entertainment and Resorts and the Hershey Company are proud to help fulfill the dream of our mutual founder, Milton S. Hershey, by providing value to Milton Hershey School, the largest home and school in the world, as it continues to provide opportunities for children in need. We hope you've enjoyed your elevated tour of Hershey. Please remain seated until the ride comes to a complete stop, and then follow the instructions to exit.
The Overlook is a more traditional food court style restaurant. There are 2 entrances. If you come in the entrance that's right past Great Bear, you first come to a place where you can get various beers and cans. They also have a Pepsi refill station there. Continuing through, there's a gluten-friendly and vegan station. There is a drink station with all the Pepsi products that you can find elsewhere in the park. There is a station that has a bunch of featured items, burgers, pizzas, sandwiches. You go around the corner, they have sides and drinks. And then beyond that, they have entrees, which features some sandwiches and pizza also. And then the same featured items menu from earlier past that. And then the last screen shows the all-day dining deal, so I think that covers basically the entire menu that they offer here at the Outlook. Come in the other entrance out here across from the Hershey Triple Tower. There's a fairly abundant seating situation. They even have a little bar-style seating at the opposite end that you can sit at while you eat your food. Coming out this end where the Hershey Triple Tower is, puts you out underneath of the Pepsi Pop Star building, and they have this tiny little sign advertising the Overlook. It's easy to miss if you don't know it's there. Actually, right past the Pepsi Pop Star logo is a bigger sign for the Overlook, so it looks like they actually do have something more noticeable. You would really need to be walking toward the Hershey Triple Towers from Founders Way area in order to see the sign though, because you really can't see it around the Pepsi Pop Star sign. We're here at the Aquatheater for the first time ever. We've never actually watched this show before, so this will be an interesting experience. Behind the trainers down at the bottom right, the heads that you see poking up are either seals or sea lions ready to perform for us. This should be fun.
We did have to give her a very fitting Hersheypark name. She is turning 5 years old this summer. You guys all put your hands together for Coco. Very nicely done, Coco. Excellent job. Like I said, Coco is an Atlantic Harbor seal, but a lot of people do confuse her for a sea lion. But all seals and sea lions are very closely related. There are 3 easy ways to tell them apart that I'd love to highlight for you today with the help of Coco. Now the first difference is the smallest, so you do have to look a little closely for it, and it's in their ears. So a seal like Coco has what's called internal ears, so all you're going to see on her is a small hole or bump about an inch back from her eyes. But you will see on our sea lion later in our show, they do have external ear flaps called external pinnae that are visible on the sides of their head. Our next star is joining us, and I am very excited to introduce him to you all. Now, he is actually our newest member here. He just joined us this past December from the New York Aquarium, and he is actually our youngest animal here as well. He is only 1 year old, and he is one of our male California sea lions. You guys all put your hands together for Cruz. Very nicely done, Cruz. Excellent job.
Across from Reese's Cup Fusion, you can find the Nut Hut, which has cinnamon frosted, well, it says cinnamon frosted nuts, and then churros, iced tea, fudge dipped bananas. The menu is that little square in the center window, which has a lot of reflection on it, so it's kind of hard to see, but they have your typical sodas and waters. And then the cinnamon nuts include almonds, cashews, and a mix. And they also have salted nuts, and they have, as the sign above said, churros. In addition, they have frozen fudge-dipped bananas. They have a sign here in Founder's Way that points the way to all of the coasters. Interesting to note that they do not yet have a sign up here for Wildcats Revenge. Looks like they put some canopies over the part of the Comet queue that isn't the ramp up to the actual station. So that's nice on a day like today where it started off very wet and keep people dry with these canopies. This little stand in front of the Super Duper Looper used to be a souvenir shop where you could buy I Survived the Super Duper Looper t-shirts. But it looks like they've recently turned it into a Super Duper Looper photo area. The water around Sky Rush right now is significantly lower than usual. I'm not 100% sure why. I don't think it has anything to do with lack of rain though, because as you can see across the water, there actually is a dam here, and so they probably have dammed up some of the water, which is probably why it's so low. I don't know for sure, and if they did do it intentionally, I don't know the reason why, but all I can say is this water is definitely significantly lower than usual. At some point I want to cover the Hersheypark Supply Company in its entirety because it has a lot of interesting things in it for just a gift shop at an amusement park, but the main thing I wanted to focus on today, because this video is already long enough as it is this photo spot for Wildcats Revenge, since this may or may not be staying. It's in the back near Milton's Ice Cream Parlor, so if you want to pretend that you're on Wildcats Revenge even before it opens, here's your chance. And if you notice up in the corner, the font is upside down, so you're intended to flip the picture upside down after you take it. Inside the Hersheypark Supply Company at the entrance to the park / the exit to the park, they have the Sweetery, which offers various flavors of homemade fudge, as well as candied apples and other assorted goodies. and the cabinet over here. So if you're in the mood for a sweet treat, this is where you would come. Here's a look at the sweetery menu prices, and the fudge is buy 2 pieces, get 1 free. Right next to the sweetery is Milton's Ice Cream Parlor, but despite the name, it actually doesn't only serve ice cream. As you can see from what they have on the floor, there are 2 separate lanes, one to order shareables and one to order the actual ice cream. The shareables include things like these menus here. They have various types of grilled cheeses, they have little cheeseburgers, they have kids' meals, so savory foods. While you're waiting in line, they have instructions for creating your own sundae on the left, choosing your scoops, adding unlimited toppings, swirling whipped cream, and finish with a cherry. And then on the right, if you decide not to get a sundae and you just want the ice cream, they ask you whether you want a cup or a cone, and they ask you how much ice cream you want. Here's a look at the menu prices for all the various ice creams and sundaes that you can get at Milton's. And right next to that is a screen showing examples of what some of the dishes look like. It rotates periodically. Like that. So that's a look at Hersheypark in 2023. We tried to get as much of Wildcats Revenge as we possibly could. I know we couldn't see a whole lot because of all the trees, but what we did see was pretty interesting, seeing all those cranes over there and everybody working diligently to get everything done. It's nice to see that it's coming along pretty quickly. They should be ready to test within, I don't know, a few weeks, hopefully. I don't know when it's going to open, but I'm excited when it does. Also, the various food places, we didn't cover everything, but we got most of the big ones. There are a lot of snack places here, so I didn't really cover all of the snack places. It would have taken forever. We were also hoping to get a good look of the view from the sky view and also from the monorail, but neither of those 2 rides were open today, unfortunately. So that'll basically do it for our last trip to Hersheypark before Wildcats Revenge is open. If you enjoyed the video, we'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel and also like this video. Every subscribe and like really helps our channel. So we hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.